Okay, today I'm going to be teaching y'all how to make homemade chocolate chip cookies. So the first step that you're going to do is to turn on the oven, and however your oven works, I just turn mine to bake 350 degrees. So while that's heating up, then you can start on the actual ingredients. So the first step that you'll do is to melt 1 cup of butter. And just for time's sake, I already did that. 1 cup is just 2 sticks, and then I put it in the microwave for about 1.5 minutes or so. So once you melt this butter, you're going to want to take like a medium to large mixing bowl, and then you're going to pour the butter in there. And then would anybody like to help me?
I'll help.
Okay. Alright, so once you pour the butter in here, then you're going to mix your sugars. So you want 1 cup of regular granulated sugar, and this is your 1 cup. And sometimes I like to put a little bit extra. You'll do 1 cup of that, and then you'll do 1 cup of brown sugar. And for time's sake, this is already measured out as 1 cup. So once you do this, then you're going to just mix it all together until it's mixed well. Once that's mixed, the next step you'll do is to use vanilla. Personally, the Adams extract is my favorite vanilla. I think it's just the best when baking. So what you're going to do is you're going to take 1 teaspoon of vanilla and then just pour it in there. And again, sometimes I like to put a little extra in. And then we'll mix that together. So once it's completely mixed, it'll just look, it's kind of, you'll see the sugar in it, but it'll look like that. Okay, so the next step that you do is you take baking powder. The recipe actually calls for baking soda, but I've used baking powder before, and it's worked fine. So for this step, you're going to do 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and you're going to put it in, if you have a little bowl or a measuring cup, it doesn't matter. 1 teaspoon, and then you're going to do 2 teaspoons of hot water. So we have hot water right here. And as soon as you put that hot water in, it starts like fizzing up and bubbling, and then you want to stir it until it dissolves. So it'll almost just look like a cloudy water once you stir it. Okay, so it settles down, and then you just pour it into the mixture and then stir all that together. So while he's stirring that, then the next step is to take 2 eggs, and you want to add them 1 at a time. And so you crack 1 egg, stir that in real good, and once that's stirred in, then you'll do the next egg. Great job, Harper. Great job. Okay, so once the eggs are stirred in, then the recipe doesn't actually call for this, but I like to add in a little, like a little pinch of salt. It makes it taste good. Just a little bit. Alright, so that is all of the first step. So the next step is really simple. You're going to take your flour, and it calls for 3 cups of flour. And so we'll take our 1 cup measuring cup and add, now you don't want to add all 3 cups at the same time. So what you're going to do is put 1 cup of flour, start mixing that, and then the recipe also calls for 1 cup of chocolate chips. Now depending on if you like a whole lot of chocolate or not much, you can kind of do more or less, but I like about 1 cup. So with this, you're not going to add all of the chocolate chips at once. You're going to do a few, and then you're going to kind of alternate it with the flour. So then you do another cup of flour, and then you do some more chocolate chips. Whoops. And then you'll do it a 3rd time. So it can get kind of messy sometimes, but it makes it fun. So now it's starting to really thicken up. Do your last cup of flour, so that's 3 cups of flour, 1 cup of chocolate chips, and then add in the last chocolate chips, and then he'll be stirring that real good until it's like a total dough mixture. So while he's doing that, the next step is just to get like a cookie pan, and then you definitely want to make sure that you spray it. So after you spray it real good, and the cookies, you can kind of push all your stuff aside. Then you have a nice dough. Now if it's too dry, then you can add like more water even, or if it's too watery, you just add more flour. So it just depends on what it looks like at the end. So basically that's all. Once you finish stirring, you just want to get, and it depends on how big you want your cookies, probably about this size if you can see it. And then you'll just space them about 2 inches apart in a round ball like this. So then once you put all of the balls, all of the dough on the pan, then you put it in the oven at 350. And then once you fill up the whole cookie pan, then you just put it in the oven, and depending on your oven, mine takes about 10 minutes. And it'll look like it's not done at all. It'll look really gooey, but they do harden up after they sit out and cool off for a while. So I would say between 9 and 11 minutes. And then that's basically all. And you have delicious cookies, and you can eat them hot with fresh milk. So does anybody have any questions? Yes.
I actually have 2. So when did you start cooking or baking?
I started baking when I was probably like 7 or 8 with my mom. We'd do like simple recipes and stuff like that.
And is it safe to eat the cookie dough by it's like not raw?
I eat the cookie dough. I know a lot of other people eat the cookie dough. So
I have a question.
yes.
How many cookies will this roughly make?
Oh yes. This recipe honestly makes about 40 to 50 cookies if they're not too big. So it really does serve a whole lot of people. So yes. All right. Thank you guys so much for taking the time, and I hope that you enjoyed it.